I think I said something like that too.
Why do you look like you've been dragged through a bush? Oh wow! And we can see she feels bad
because that was just I see you like what basically what happened. I think what was it?
We just started recording.
We just started
met you 3
recording.
times.
Yeah, okay. And Maya's hair was just a bit all over the place. And then I just said to her like, "You look like you've been dragged through a bush," and I didn't mean it to be horrible.
And then I was like, "Raw," and then she was like, "Do you get easily offended? Are you extra sensitive?" And I was like, "Are you taking the piss?"
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Tried It podcast, where we'll be discussing all things from millennial struggles to relationships and love and everything else in between. I'm Kadisha.
I'm Jade.
And I'm Maya.
Hey, and welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go first this week.
Oh my God.
My pick this week is toxic traits.
Ooh.
Do you identify yours? Do you know what they are? Do you feel like you have them? Can you identify them in other people? Do you think it's true, or do you think it's an excuse? Like, talk to me.
Toxic traits, for me, a big one is when someone can't accept fault. Like when people will honestly believe that they've never done nothing wrong and they will find a way. Do they just would rather argue than to actually look at the situation and be like, you know what? Yeah, I did wrong. I'm sorry. I think that's a big, big toxic trait because you can't get on. You can't have a relationship with anyone really, a good friendship, unless you can actually accept fault and say sorry. Like if you've done something wrong, that's a big one. And anger issues. Like,
do you specifically have any toxic traits?
Me, I don't know. I guess I feel like I've worked through a lot of my
What were they?
toxic traits. I mean, obviously.
Well, if you listen to last week's episode,
Mate.
Pride, yeah. Just
I would say risk of death. I could bug out and kill you. That's one of Jade's.
Oh my God. Well, obviously when I was younger, I felt like everyone was like taking the piss at me because I was too kind, I was too nice. People would just take the mick out of like, people just take the piss when you're too nice basically. So I obviously had a chip on my shoulder of trying to like, just fight with anyone that's trying to get on the wrong side of me, taking the piss, anyone that doesn't respect me or whatever, just trying to like, just pipe up. So obviously that was one of mine, but you know, I sorted that out. Accepting fault, I think that's something that everyone has. You know, I think it's hard to say, yes, I've done wrong. Everyone has an ego. That's hard to overcome. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. What about you, Maya? What have you had?
Oh, there. To answer your first question, looking at toxic traits around you, my biggest pool of toxicity comes from my dad. And I know it from learned actions that I've watched him do that I find myself repeating sometimes, and I'm like, oh shit, I can hear my dad in me and it scares me. And also from genetics, I feel like there's a side of it you just have to accept. There's a part of it
everything is genetics.
I do. I honestly...
I think everything's parented. You think everything's genetics.
But that is the same thing because you get all your genetics from your parents.
No, parenting is
genetics
different.
Is like if your parents weren't part of the solution of the equation, you would still have that. You would still be that way.
Yeah, I'm saying even if my dad didn't raise me and I didn't watch him do X, Y, and Z, I probably would still be like a bit of it, but not know why. Do you know what I mean? At least now I know why because I've grown up bloody seeing it. But I do feel like it's part of it. Even to the point where my friend saw my dad in the bank the other day, and did I tell you guys this?
She thought it was you.
No, it's a boy that saw him and it was like, I was in the. He said to me, I was in the bank and I just heard this man in front of me. My friend was on the phone, so he was just not really paying attention. He heard a man in front of him talking to a cashier in the most like rudest way, but with such a calm tone. So it sounds like it's like a proper gaslighting thing. Like, you're like, oh, did you think you did that? Well, clearly you didn't. Cause, like, and that's my dad's forte. Like, he loves to do it. That's him saying hello. That's normal to him. God. So he said that he did it, and then he looked up and he clocked from the voice, but he wasn't quite sure. And then he saw him and he was like, oh, fucking hell, that's my dad. But he said that like the woman, you could see she felt so embarrassed. But like nobody was even looking, so it's like she couldn't even shout for help because nobody could even see that she was like being strangled hypothetically. And I can do that. And I'm not proud of it, but my baseline, I've had to work to not be like that. Like I can be so patronizing and so belittling and condescending. And I've had to actively learn to not, and very like non-empathetic. Like I don't understand why you can't do
things. I
things.
feel like that's learnt though from seeing it and hearing it, and obviously he would have communicated with you in that way.
Yeah, true.
So now you know that it sort of gets results.
Yeah.
So now like you then take that and
that's definitely an element of it, but I do feel like there would have been aspects of it because as family I haven't even met yet. Or no, I've met like once or twice and I'm from that side and I'm similar to the same thing. Not exactly the same things, but also bad toxic things from that too. I'm similar to that. And
maybe that's just because
I know you don't get the genetic thing. I believe it. Let's agree to disagree on that. Because every week, here we are. Yeah, I do feel like I've had to unlearn a lot of my toxicity, but it was like very patronising, condescending, just like a inflated ego, but fueled by upsetting other people. Like I'd prey on people's downfalls, and like I'd do that. Like if I was having a problem, like my brother will still say it sometimes if we're in beef, and I'll say something, he'll be like, oh, "You're just like him," and I'll just like, fuck. And my mum will say it as well, but I know my mum does it on purpose. But my brother will actually be like, "You're just like him," and I'm just like, shit.
Yeah.
And then I have to catch myself and be like, okay, cool. So I've had to unlearn a lot of it, and especially like I always say as well, when you're in a relationship, you're constantly having to go through your shit and their shit and unpick each other's. So. Yeah,
but that's good that you know that and you're working on it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like you have a responsibility too. If you've been brought up in toxicity, you have a responsibility because it's not everyone else's fault that you've had messed up situations. You know what I mean?
What about you, Khadijah?
My toxic, I have a few that I didn't realise were toxic traits until I seen toxic traits trending, and I was like,
oh shit.
Oh, okay.
Triggered.
I do that. Yeah, literally. I was like, right, that's me. One of them is that I can, if I have something like horrible to say to somebody, I'll always say it in like a jokey way.
Oh, mate.
No.
I know people that do that as well. Like, I hate that on people.
But when I was saying that you should do that, like, how you think you guys were getting onto me.
But the thing is, to me...
It's a nice way of delivering it.
Yes. And it's me bringing it to your attention.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to be horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be an argument.
But if I'd have said it in a different way, it would have been horrible. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if I say, those
shoes are dirty. Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Literally, like,
or,
did you run through the jungle to get here today?
Yeah.
Well, I think I said something like that too.
Why do you look like you've been dragged through a bush? Oh wow! And we can see she feels bad
because that was just I see you like basically what happened. I think what was it?
We just started recording.
We just started recording. Times. Yeah, okay. And Maya's hair was just a bit all over the place. And then I just said to her like, "You look like you've been dragged through a bush," and I didn't mean it to be horrible.
And then I was like, "Right." And then she was like, "Do you get easily offended? Are you extra sensitive?" And I was like, are you taking the piss? And then she knew that was mad because then later, the next week on Instagram, there was a quote pic that was like, no, I'm not extra sensitive, you're just a dickhead. And she sent that to me, so telling me I know that was mad.
Yeah, but I didn't mean it to be horrible, but I can see how it was. Do you know what I mean? So things like that, I need to work on my delivery.
But I guess. But then how would you change it? I kind of feel like, I guess, if you're gonna say it, that's the best kind of way to say it.
It's true.
I don't agree with that.
How would you prefer somebody to say your hair looks mad?
I wouldn't want you to.
No. I would want somebody to tell me.
Yeah. And you know what as well? It's not just about that, like the work and the delivery. It's about reading who you're around. Because there's certain people, which I'm sure you would say that to, and they'd be like, oh shit, is it looking mad? And they wouldn't even be a thing.
True.
Whereas I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. But then equally, I could say something in a belittling way that some other people will be like, right, cool, I'll work on that. But you might be like, what? Are you do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just about reading.
Everyone has different tolerances.
Totally.
Because I feel like if somebody said to me, you've been dragged for a bush, I'd be like, shit, is that how I look, how I'm looking?
Get your mirror out.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so then I seen some on Twitter as well and I screenshot them just for reference. My toxic trait is that I never speak up for myself. I just get mad and then distance myself. I do that. If somebody pisses me off, I'll just go silent and then you won't even know what it is that you've done. Even though I think you should fucking know what you've done to upset me. But that could be 19 years later. And I'm just like, you mean to tell me you don't know what you did 19 years ago? Yeah. And they'll be like, and I'll be like, and then before you know it, we're just still not talking.
Yeah. I feel like one of my toxicities, even though I don't think it is, but I can see from other people that it must be, I don't like sitting in things. So I feel like we'll have a problem. We're cool, blah, blah, blah. You have your point of view. I have my point of view. I'm not backing down. You're not backing down.
Yeah, you're very...
Let's just end this then. Like, what? Okay, Jade.
But it's good to have your views.
But it's like, I'm not going to... So like, for example, if I'm having an argument with my boyfriend, I'll be like, yeah, I think da-da-da-da-da. And he'll be like, I think da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, cool, I'll talk to you later. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't see a way forward from this now. You have your point of view. Whereas he's like, no, we talk until we find a solution.
That's me.
But I'm like, no. I got shit to do.
But then if unless
I feel like it's me who's gonna be like gonna move mad and say something wild and irreversible, then I'll want to keep you on the phone to keep talking about it, because I know myself, once we come off this phone, you're going to ring me and I'm not going to pick up. And then we're just not going to talk again. So it's better we resolve it now.
Yeah.
Then, like, this is what happens a lot of the time with my mum. Like, when we get into it, and like, I just don't like arguing with her because I know I'll say some fucked up shit and you can't come back from it. So and she knows that I'm a master with my words, innit? Like, I could talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. I've got an answer for everything. That's probably another toxic trait. Like, I could talk all the time. So she'll just be like, I'm going. And I'm like, no, don't go. Let's sort it now. Because what's going to happen is you're going to go and then we're just not going to speak. And before you know it, it's been 6 months. And then it's going to be like, why did we even fall out? Nobody can't remember. And then,
I still don't like you and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and it's just long, and it's just, it can all be avoided if we just talk the conversation to the end. Even if we say, okay, let's agree to disagree at the end and then revisit it, but don't just be like, I'm going.
Yeah.
And then
it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it's true. I've had to, that's something I'm still working on as well. My mum's is that if you're talking about something she doesn't want to talk about because like you're drawing her out or you're making her held accountable to something.
Say, oh, shut up.
No, well, swearing and that. But more, if we're in a good place and it's not beef, she'll be like, anyway, and she'll just change subject. Or she'll bring something so random up that you're like, why are you saying
those
that?
new hoovers.
Literally. And I'll have to be like, physically, stop. We are talking about this. And then bring it and then, do you know what I mean? But it's just, I get, but then also there's a level of, I feel like you have to respect that because I think toxicity's come from trauma. So I have to respect whatever trauma's happened to you, for you to do that. Yeah. I want to respect that. But I'm only saying that now because I'm in an okay mood today. Yeah. If it gets mad, it can pop.
Literally. Another one is, my toxic trait is my attitude. Once I'm irritated, don't say shit to me. Anything could trigger me. You can breathe funny and it's going to piss me off even more.
Yeah, see, it's important to stay calm in an argument. Like, you need to keep sense. Don't let your emotion overtake you and like you're just saying stuff to just keep going with the argument. And that's hard to do.
No, but this is saying once I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you pissed me off yesterday and then you said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to see you today and I'm not going to want to talk to you because I'm still yesterday. I'm still there. Like, even if you come in and then you just like look that way, why are you looking over there for? I'll still be in that until the conversation is had. And then maybe I can release a little bit.
Yeah, I get you.
Terrible. I know I do it, but it's just, this is why I just avoid confrontation, because once I get there, like, it's me who has to say, don't be drawn out by this. Like, it's me who has to say, don't rise to that. Because once I do, and then we get into that conversation, it has to go to the end. Otherwise, I'm just going to be some type of way. Toxic trait, I cut people off and I don't explain why. I do
Some people deserve that shit, though. Depends on the circumstance.
I don't feel like I ever don't explain why. I'll cut you off, feel no way, but you've done something for that. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm just going to be like... But then it gets to the point
just says I don't explain why.
Yeah, but then it gets to the point where...
Doesn't say for no reason.
Yeah, true. But it gets to a point where if you've cut someone off already once and explained why you went through a whole thing of it, you've let them back. They start their bullshit.
You don't need to explain again.
Yeah, I don't think you need to explain again. You can just not explain why now because you've already done it and you've said wrong.
I don't wait till the second time.
Is it true?
Always, anyway. Some people get a couple chances, but sometimes
some people have a season ticket.
Yeah, a return pass. That's all. Yeah, that's it for me. Just like, again, 2020, I'm trying to self-reflect and work on these things because it's all well and good saying I acknowledge my toxic traits, but am I working on like getting rid of them or working on doing it less or being less toxic? Because it's hard to, like you say, admit when you're wrong and admit when you do something. Nobody wants to be at fault. Yeah. So I think first step is acknowledging them, and that's as far as I've got. So next.
At least it's a step, do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the big step, take the first one.
Literally.
Okay, so kind of going off of what like your point was as well, I was thinking, I don't know if this is a toxic trait or not, but it's like if someone says something like a friend or I feel like it's mainly a friend and like it's something that you don't agree with. Like, for example, if they were like, you know what, I'm listening to... Huh?
Aliens don't exist.
No. If it was something like, you know what, I hate people that say that I can't listen to R. Kelly or I can't listen to like Chris Brown or whatever. Like, just because he did something to like to Rihanna doesn't mean that he's a bad guy. Like, I'm still gonna listen to Michael Jackson. I don't give a shit. Like, obviously it's fine. Like, proper being strong about like their opinion.
Controversial things.
Yeah. Is it all right to when do you just say like, okay, like I'm not gonna engage in this, or is it like your responsibility to say something? Or like, for example, if I had a white friend and they were saying something really really ignorant about race or something, you know, like when is it okay for you to be like, okay, do you know what, I'm not, because I feel like a lot of the time I don't really engage in like the drama, because I know if it's a long conversation, especially, like what's the point? Do you know what I mean? But it depends. Like I guess I find it difficult. I only do in rare circumstances to actually discuss it and actually talk through it with people. So like, when is it all right?
I think the examples that you gave are too far ends of the spectrum.
Okay.
I think that listening to R. Kelly, Chris Brown and Michael Jackson is one thing. Listen to who you want to listen to, babe. Like what you listen to in your spare time is absolutely nothing to do with me. You saying something ignorant about race now is morally wrong. Like, and it's affecting people. Like the thoughts and views that you have and that you're saying out loud is affecting people, and that's not right, and that is not morally right. It's racist. It's discrimination, and it's all of these other things that are lawfully also wrong compared to what you're listening to on your Spotify playlist. Do you know what I mean? Even me, I catch myself sometimes like, wow, on shuffle, and an R. Kelly song will come on and be like, shit, I thought I deleted them all. And like, nobody knows that I'm having these private thoughts in my house, but I feel some sort of guilt for listening to it. But like, nobody else would know. So like, what I'm saying is, whatever now you listen to, and I delete them all now. What they listen to is totally different to like them saying ban abortion, which is it's just a bit different. Do you know what I mean? If it's not affecting somebody, and it depends as well on like who this person is to you, because you can't save the world, and sometimes they might just need to get battered for them to have their opinions changed. Do you know what I mean? They might say something to the wrong person and get knocked out. Like if they're not going to listen to, let's say you try to tell somebody you can't say that word, and then they're out one time and then they say it to the wrong person and they get a bang to the face. It's not your fault. Do you know what I mean? You can't save the world.
What do you think?
I don't feel like, but I may be wrong with this, but I don't feel anymore that I can have people around me that I can't be 100% myself with, and that involves sharing my opinions on everything.
Yeah,
like the other day.
Exhausting.
Not because now I don't have people around me regularly. But I'm lucky to be in that situation. Like my biggest one would probably be my dad, and I don't speak to him anymore. So I don't have to deal with that. And then since that one went, that freed me up to do bare other people, because when your dad goes, you're like, oh, fucking hell, I can do that. Jesus, off you go to everyone, because you don't have that same obligation. So like even the other day I saw a friend, and we were chatting and whatever, and I hadn't seen her for ages. She was someone I went to school with. And then she was like, oh yeah, I voted for Conservatives. Like, yeah, of course. And I was like, even though Boris is outwardly racist and disgusting and this and that. She's like, yeah, I know, but we need them. Like, we need Conservatives because blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, shit, I know I won't see you for a while.
And again, some people just talk for talking's sake as well. Like, some people don't even really have these views or know what they're talking about. And they're just talking just to get attention maybe, or just to seem like they know. Some people will just hear a few keywords somewhere and then use it in a conversation with somebody else and then make it seem like they know what they're talking about when really they don't. And I think it's
but you say like, is it exhausting? Because you're like, isn't it exhausting? But it's like, for me, I would say like, okay, I registered it. At that point, I questioned her on it, but I was like, okay, cool, you have your view, I have mine, done. I won't see her for a while now.
See, but don't you feel like, why don't I try and like...
No.
You don't think you should try to help them see?
If it was someone that I see more regularly, whose friendship not means more to me, but I have to be around more for whatever reason, functionally, business, whatever. Yes, I'll put more effort, purely because that's going to come onto me. That energy that you're bringing, I'm going to have to absorb that because I'm around you more. I don't have to see her that much. I see her solely if I want to and if she wants to. So what's the point in getting into a big thing for no reason when it's not even worth it for me? And it's not like she's not an intelligent person. If she was a person that I think genuinely didn't know, and then I'll explain it to you. But you aren't dumb. It was a conscious decision. You're out here big talk telling me Labour's shit and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about this. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I don't need to expect you've made your decision. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to brainwash you. You've chosen to do that for whatever reasons. I don't agree with that. So if you don't agree with that, then there's bare things we're not going to agree on. So why am I getting into this?
But that's also like saying, let's say that you have a friend that you know is in a relationship and he is hitting his girlfriend. Obviously, that is wrong, but what are you going to tell your friend? Do you know what I mean? Are you not going to be friends with them anymore because they're doing that? Or are you going to be like, oh, but I've known them for 16 years.
Wouldn't be friends with them.
And I've tried to tell him and stuff, and he knows it's not right and blah, blah, blah. But then in the same breath, you're going to stop listening to Chris Brown because of what he did, but you're going to keep this friend.
Trust me.
So it's like, where do you fit into all of this as well?
And how extreme is the thing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Race, moral things like you said, fucking extreme. Bit of the old... we don't. I drink coffee,
Yeah.
you drink. Okay, I drink coffee, you drink tea, or I shop at this place. It's not sustainable, but you don't agree with that.
Yeah.
There's certain things. It's about your priorities and your morals. Whatever you rate highly, and if people around you can't do that and whatever, fuck it off. If there's people that you allow, it is what it is. And also what people are going to say in front of you.
Yeah.
Because I'm also a believer of not as much, but if you have to have those kind of people, which you have to accept either way, like family members and that like you may have to cope with. If as long as they don't say certain things in front of me, I can't really chat shit. If they're saying it in front of me, different story. If it's not in front of me, then just keep it over there. Do you know what I mean? You are who you are, I'm who I am.
Because I feel like sometimes, like, I do find it very like exhausting to be in an argument with someone or to have like, especially because some people just like can't have a proper discussion. They just get mad about it. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of times, like I really won't say anything, but sometimes I feel bad. Like, should I be saying more? But I guess especially something when it's a big thing, for example, like what we were saying, like race or something like that. If I already had the conversation with them once and they're still saying the same type of stuff afterwards, I kind of just feel like, what's the point in me just keep piping up saying the same conversation when they're not listening? But so I do feel bad that like I'm not keeping going. But it's like,
do you ever think, should I still be friends with this person?
Yeah, obviously no. If it's a friend, absolutely not.
But family member.
But if it's like family or something that you like, you can't really do anything about it.
Yes, you can.
I feel like, you think?
Ask Maya.
Yes, but
Yeah, but if it's just I do hear that.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah,
and if
it's
that
definitely
is
made
only...
a difference to our relationship. But obviously, if they're good in some senses, like
it's
bad
true.
in others,
It's true. Toxicity is a thing, but it wasn't. The aspect of toxicity of him having different views and things for me wasn't an overriding thing for me. Do you know what I mean? Because it's never like he'd say his mad shit, but it wouldn't ever make me. It would make me more against that than it would ever sway me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would be clear to see that you would never think I share those views because it would just be clear.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a biggie for me. The other toxicity, more of a biggie.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? Like I think if that's your only problem, it's hard to just X out a family member just because they just don't share the same political beliefs as you or whatever.
Yeah, that was my point.
Okay, my one is, do you guys complain about bad service and write reviews in general for bad things?
This is so funny because the other day I literally wrote something and I sent it by an accident from the freaking podcast email thing.
Did.
And I was just laughing. So I was thinking, they didn't reply. And then like, she's like, I saw you sent an email. Just made me laugh. I think you have to complain. Like, I just think like, if it depends what it is.
Yeah, but you wrote an essay.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do it, you got to go the full way. Don't just do a little few sentences like this pissed me off. Like you got to really go the full way.
You wouldn't expect Jade to not write an essay.
Yeah,
look how she replies to text.
Yeah, what do you mean? If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go full.
Literally,
that's so funny.
But yeah, no, it depends how passionately I feel. I would only do it if it's because obviously it's a lot of energy and time to write something that nothing's really gonna change a lot of the time. So it depends if it's something that I really feel passionately about and something that's really like upset me or got on my nerves. Like I have to, like, even though I know it might not do anything, I still have to know that at least I tried and I did my part or whatever, and like hope that maybe something will change, because sometimes you never know. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think you have to.
Yes. If I'd, especially if it's something that I'm paying money for.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm the definition of get your money's worth. Like I'm like if. Let's for say, if I'm in a restaurant and they send out the food wrong or something, some people will just eat it. No. Obviously, that's But will you go online after and write a review? I do like to write reviews purely because I rely on reviews before I buy things. So I would like to know what somebody like me would write and think. Yeah. So I do write reviews and stuff.
See, I found email to complain,
not every single time though, not every experience I have, but like. If it's like particularly outstanding or particularly bad, then yeah. What will be your ratio, both of you, of good to bad reviews that you write on average? Is it like for every 5 bad you'll write 1 good, or for every, like, not based on purpose, but just what has your experience been? I'd say it's pretty balanced.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think pretty balanced.
And at the bare minimum, even if I don't write a review, I'll do like, normally stars. They have like stars, yeah.
Yeah, but for me, because I don't necessarily leave reviews like on for everyone to see, but mainly it would be like me emailing the people themselves and being like, this is something that needs to be solved, like this is an issue, like you need to sort it out, or like I don't agree with this. So a lot of times, like, it's not me just saying, oh, this is great, like that's nice, but I would probably leave that in a review, but I'm not going to email them and like say like this is great because it's like, okay. You want something constructive that you can work with. Yeah. See, for me, I found myself being mad pissed off at certain things
and then being like, oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a review and da-da-da-da-da.
This was me at Hyde Park at Christmas.
I can't bring myself to do it.
Why?
Because I worry.
Next time, text me.
Yeah, me too.
I would do what you said.
Yeah.
I would email them directly and be like, blah, 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 blah. But I just feel so like it's so individual that you don't know. They could be having a bad day. There's so many
don't
things
take it
that
out
are
on
part
them.
of it. I agree. But
Do you
that's
have
what
an
a review would
example?
do. Yeah, so
Are you talking about a product or a service?
I feel really bad about, and I don't leave bad reviews on anything that is run by ethnic minorities.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's bad, I know, because how are they going to get better?
That's a toxic trait.
It's very toxic, I know.
That's why I think we'd better to email them, give constructive criticism. Don't leave a review where
but
people
then
think
I
I'm not
feel
going to go there. Then.
that's even more deep because I'm like, do I not realise what they've
But
had
you
to go
can be
through to get there?
constructive in your
It's true,
in your
it's
review.
true, it's true,
You could
I
say,
agree.
I went there, had a bad experience, blah, blah, blah. If only they had
Yeah.
my experience would have been improved
Yeah.
by
and also say
And I
good
so
things,
need
but
to
this
do
was
that,
nice,
yeah.
this was nice, this was
It's
nice.
Yeah.
true, it's true. But and do you know what as
because
well,
you could have saved
made it
me the
worse?
trouble of going there because I'm going to write a review.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And I like to read reviews as well.
Yeah.
And also I feel like I think of our podcast
Mm.
and I think of the reviews people write on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I would feel like, imagine someone wrote something horrible.
Mm.
How that would make
Take
me feel.
YouTube for an example. When people do YouTube and like the comments that they get, they say, most YouTubers say they don't even read their comments.
I know.
Because there might be 20, you're great, love this
Yeah, there's
video,
always
whatever.
gonna be
And then
someone
there's a
gonna
one,
say
go
something.
kill yourself. And then it's just like, you don't even want to do
Yeah.
YouTube anymore.
Yeah,
and
I
it's just like, yeah, but that's just obviously an extreme. But I think reviews are good and they're
Yeah.
beneficial.
My sister thinks that I'm so like way over the top with it.
You are.
Like, let me give you an example. Like, I went to.
The in the email you sent from
I'm not talking about that one, all right?
God.
So funny.
You might put a screenshot of
I'm
that up.
surprised Jay doesn't write a letter, go there and hand deliver it.
Oh, I would.
No, but you could be making extra coin on the side. Because
should,
there's loads
you know.
of people.
There is,
yeah,
yeah.
there's loads of people that have so many complaints that they'd
Secret
love to
shoppers
word.
and that.
Yeah, and you could just be making big P for it.
Well, I'll give you an example. Like, when I went to Hyde Park, right, we went on this ride, and
Mate.
afterwards, wanted to get the photo. I was with my nephew and my sister, and afterwards, there's like
This is a
literally at
good
the
thing to
exit,
say.
yeah, there's like a photo booth. You get your picture from the ride, and so you know, I'm queuing up, and at the right of the corner, there's my picture, and you know, I'm waiting to queue, and I get to the front, and all I know is it's the corner one. She's like, "What one is it?" I'm like, "Oh, it's the corner one." She's like, "Number." I'm just like, "Oh," I look up and I look at the corner number, and I'm like, "Okay, whatever number that is." And then she's like, "Okay." She takes my payment, and then I was like, "Wait, can I see it first?" Like, she starts printing out. I'm like, "Wait, like, let me see it first. Obviously, like, I need to check it's the right one. Like, I don't know how many pictures they took on the ride, but I just, you know, I need to see it's the right one." And she was like, "No, you can't." And I was like, "What do you mean? There's like a screen right behind that. Why just turn your computer around?"
Do you know why though? Because in person, I would have battered her up, so there's no chance. So then I wouldn't have to write a review. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, she's already taken your payment.
Yeah.
Like,
no, give it back.
That's what I'm saying.
They do
I'm
refunds
not
all the
even-
time.
Just wait. You just
I
wait.
raise that voice. Like, are you dumb?
You just
That's so
wait.
joke.
But yeah, she prints it out. She hands it to me. And literally it happened, obviously she prints it out quick. And it was a picture of this man and his young boy, like his son.
That could never
And
happen.
I was like, "What's this? What is this?" And she was like, "It's the picture that's the number you said." And I was like, "Oh no, so this is the wrong one. Can you print out the right one, please?" I was like, "Oh, sorry." Like, you know, being nice at first. And she was like, no, that's the number you said. That's what you get. And I was like, "Well, clearly this isn't me.
This picture
Clearly,
of Steve and his son.
literally, I was like, clearly that's not me. Like, I'm here with my nephew and my sister. Like, this is
Surely that's
obviously
GDPR.
like, it's obviously, I mean, I think that's not even legal. Like, why am I paying for a picture of someone and his son?
Exactly.
How would he feel knowing that you've given me a picture of him and his boy? Do you know what I mean? Anyways,
I would have found the man and said, this woman, I've got
literally,
two
but
people
he'd
on my
already
side.
left. And like, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, I was getting mad. I was like, "Are you joking? Like, you think I'm going to pay £9 for this? Like,
I'm getting
why
agitated.
don't you just give me the money back for how much it cost to print? Or like, can I pay a little bit
Oh
more
my-
and you give me the
Oh
right
my
one?"
God.
Like,
See, this is moving mad. You'd be like,
At this
"Let me
point,
talk
I've
to
hopped
your
the
manager."
counter.
I did. I was
At
like,
this point,
I
I've
was
hopped
like-
the counter.
I was like,
Literally.
can I
This
speak to your
point,
manager then?
I've got a hair in my hand.
Yeah, and I was like, "Can I speak to your manager, please?" She was like, "No, it's just me." And I was like, "It's just you
my
here. Yeah, there's no
God.
one else I can speak to." She's like, "No, there's no one else." And she's like, got this grin on her fucking face, like she's smiling, like she thinks it's funny, like she's done
What
this
was your
before.
sister saying?
She was standing there like a little mouse. She would never say nothing. So she was just, her and my nephew were like shook because I'm standing here swearing at this lady shouting and there's like a queue
God.
behind me. And my nephew's probably just like shook, like, what the fuck is she doing?
No,
I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, you're ripping people off. Like, you're fucking like literally stealing from people. Like, you can't fucking do this or whatever." She just
much
doesn't give a
words.
shit.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I threw the picture back and I leave and I'm like, "All right, I'm going to go over there
You left?
What was I meant to do? Like, she said no.
You get your money's worth.
Did you get her name?
You get your picture.
No, I was like, I'm going to go get someone. I'll come back here. I was like, I went over to the other stand and I was like, this lady, this is what she's done. Like, I need someone here that can sort this out. I need someone to sort this out. And my sister's already like, what are you doing? Like, you need to go. And I was like, no, like, I need to talk to someone. She's like, yeah, someone's coming. 20 minutes later, I'm still waiting. No one's coming. And I was going to go back to the desk to be like, where are they? But she's already having an argument with another customer. There's another drama happening. And I was like, look. And my sister was like, look, can we just stop now? Because, like, we're waiting 20 minutes. I've ruined the day.
In the morning.
Thank you. Because honestly, I was just thinking, am I the only one?
And the annoying thing about things like that is they're all independent stalls and stands.
You can't even have a head office.
Yeah, literally.
But then when I ended up emailing them after and like telling them what happened, and they were really apologetic. They said they did an investigation into it, and like they said nothing like that had happened before, which I'm sure it probably had.
Money,
and whatever. And then they did give me a refund, so I was like, all right,
I need a refund. Trust me, I need a refund plus my time. Do you know? I love when people fuck up, especially banks, because I'm getting what you took and more. And it's basically free money because I'm so good at being, and again, it's not very polite, but I will literally make you understand how much stress I've gone through for this and you won't dare fuck up again.
That's like on Friday, me and my cousins went mini golf, and we got in there and we basically, they have this thing, an app that you like put your email in and spin it, and then it says, oh, you won a free game. So we had 2 free games and like a discounted game. So we was on the machine tapping in to check in, and the woman's like, yeah, this is what you do. You scan it like this and blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about the time, because the time said like we had to wait an hour and 15 minutes. It won't be that long because everything's moving quite quick. It's just, she's like, just go and wait by the bar and then keep an eye on the board for your time. So we're like, okay, fine. So we're waiting. At this point, it was like just after 9, and our time said like 10:15. So we're waiting, nothing's happening. Oh, and there's like 4 different courses, like blue, red, yellow, green. So we picked blue. So we're waiting, looking at the board, and at this point it's like 10 to 10, and we're like, did she say it's gonna be quick? Didn't she say don't worry about the time? Like, and we're looking, and the board says like you still got 28 minutes left, and we're like, what the hell? So then we're just waiting. 10 more minutes go by, and we're like, no, this is ridiculous. And we're looking like, is anyone even on blue? Like, what's happening? And blue looks empty. Like, there's people on it, but it's not as packed as the other colours. So we're like, let's just go over to blue. We go over to blue, and the man's like, oh, this section's closed. And we're like, closed? We've only been waiting 50 minutes for it. What do you mean it's closed? Yeah, exactly. Mate. We're like, what do you mean it's closed? And he's like, oh, what does it say on the board? And I said, it doesn't say. It still says waiting. So how can we still be waiting and you're closed? And he's like, oh, okay. And then at this point, we're talking to him for so long that our names finally came on the board and it said red. We're like, why does it say red when we've picked blue? And he's like, oh, well, maybe you can do green because blue and green are the same, and yellow and red are the same. And I said, that's not the point, because if I don't care if they're the same. We picked blue, and there's no queue over here. We could have been seen ages ago. Oh, okay. Well, we can talk, blah, blah, blah. So at the end, we played red because blue was closed. And then at the end, I was like, no, manager. And then spoke to the manager, explained what happened, saying how we could have been, like, if they'd have told us, blah, 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 we would have been prepared and blah, blah, and then we would have known. And in the end, we all got a free game.
Thank you. So that's how it's done.
To my sister, don't fucking judge me, all right?
Also, I feel like the reason I feel bad about writing reviews, because if I've, like, for example, I went to a restaurant about a month ago. It was a new restaurant. Me and my boyfriend were like, let's try it out. Why not? We did it. And it was a, where specialises in bubble tea normally? Like, is it
Chinatown?
Yeah, but is it like Thai background?
No, Chinese.
All right, it must have been like a Chinese restaurant then. We were eating the food and whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, let's get bubble tea. I was like, Jade, show me this thing, bubble tea, try it, blah, blah, blah. It's getting really like excited over it. And he was like,
go to a
oh
good
yeah,
place, though.
blah, 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 yeah. Don't you tell me about it. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. It's an extra like £4 on meal, which is already a bit of a bump anyway. So I'm already like, all right, cool. No, I mean, the meal's a bump. So £4, I'm even more like, what the fuck? But cool, we'll try experience, all of that. And I get it, and there's no bubbles in it. But it's bubble tea. So the man comes over.
Like just dishwater.
So the man comes over and he's like, there you go. And I was like, sorry. I'm so sorry to do this.
My bubble tea's bubbleless.
But this is bubble tea I ordered. And he goes, yeah. So the bubble tea's there. And I was like, yeah, this is under the bubble tea. He's like, yeah, but you see that one is like plus 90p for bubbles. I was like, oh, so why is it written under bubble tea then? And he's like, do you know what? I agree with you, innit? So I'm going to go get you some bubbles. And he just brought out the thing and put the bubbles in it because it's a joke thing. And the thing is, there's certain things like that are set up for people who are too scared to say anything to bump them. Just the same way as if you owe someone money and they don't mention it, You don't have to mention it. And the person who owes is betting on you not mentioning it because you feel awkward about it. It's the same shit. So I feel like if I've made a stink in the restaurant, I don't need to write on review because I've left you with a little something and hopefully you won't do that again.
But the review is not for the restaurant. The review is for the other customers.
Restaurant,
I guess especially if it's
but the whole idea of writing a bad review is to, number one, tarnish their name.
That's not what I want to do.
No, but that's why people would write. You're saying that the restaurant's going to read it.
I'd only do it to a big company.
Yeah.
So
but even the other day as well, so that actually it was that same day before we got to Minico, we went to McDonald's and we was queuing for, I've never queued so long for McDonald's and I only ordered fries and cheese bites. I was in the queue for about almost 40 minutes.
Whoa.
But because I paid on the self thing and was waiting, the queue was just ridiculous. It was waiting. And it took ages. And then literally I got mine and then I came out the queue. And my chips were cold, and I just thought, at this point, I was even being craven getting them. Like, I wasn't hungry, but I just because I can't go past McDonald's and can't not. Yeah. So then behind me, my cousin got her food, and I was like, "What's taking her so long?" And she came back to me. She's like, "I got free McFlurry," and I said, "What did you say?" She was like, "I just said to her, this took mad long. Like, can I have that McFlurry?" And she woman just gave it to me. It can be that simple. Because they know that they're in the wrong. So they're not going to then turn around and say no to you because then you will see help.
Trust me. Yeah. And also, big companies, the people that work for them aren't cared about. So they're more than happy to give you free shit.
Although they act stink with the sauce though.
Oh, mate. Sometimes I feel like saying behave. I don't know why you think this is coming out of your wage packet.
Yeah. Do you know what? It might actually do,
Oh my God, I've got a hack.
There's no reason for it.
I've got a hack for fast food. Someone who came on my retreat told me, did I say this already?
Go on, no, tell me.
Basically, if you, because obviously you know that things are like so badly.
Oh yeah, I know. As for added things.
A specialised thing.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do that.
Cool. Also, I got one. If you go on Google, you type in like for McDonald's, like student codes or whatever, it comes up with all the codes. You can get loads of meals for like $1.99. You just go onto the self-service machine, type it in. Yeah. So if anyone doesn't do that,
before I buy anything, I go to Google and I type in promo code.
Yeah, they're all on there.
For everything.
For anything you need to do.
Anything I need to do, I type in promo code.
Give me an example of the most outlandish thing you've had to do and you've used a promo code for.
Like Argos.
Or but sometimes the promo codes don't work.
Just like, but they might, and you would never know if you don't try. I'd rather try 6 and they don't work than to not try, because one time I did, like even for, here's the thing. So one time...
We've got 1 minute 40.
That's fine. So one time I was ordering like this clothes and I spun the wheel thing and again it said, type in win 5 for 5% off. I thought, what will happen if I type in win 45? It worked.
That's smart. That's very smart. But it's just funny.
Why can't you pattern a little something for the podcast?
Sometimes when I'm typing in promo codes, I just make them up and think, what do they usually use? And it works sometimes.
It's usually the same.
I'm such a cheapskate.
Oh, I love it. I love that. That is a turn on for me. Anyway, right. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Before we get the whole
got
thing
a minute left.
Yeah, we've got a minute.
All right, I'm going to go first. My shout out is Gwyneth Paltrow's show on Netflix. Basically what they do is like each episode they explore like a different kind of new something that's going on. Like for example, let me think. There was one that was about taking drugs to help anxiety. Like they take the people that work in her company, there's like 5 or 6 of them that go to like, I know, somewhere where it's legal to take the drugs, and they take shrooms basically as a way to process their trauma and like therapy, and like you talk to someone and it brings out the trauma that you've had, and as a way to use drugs, as a way to use alternative drugs that are now illegal as a way that we can potentially help in the future. Or they have loads of stuff like that, which is like really, really interesting. Yeah. And the people that work there actually try it out themselves. So,
Love it. I will definitely be on that.
Where did you watch that?
Netflix.
Of course.
Yeah, she doesn't stray.
Okay, me. Okay. My shout out this week is Ray Stewart, Making Love.
Oh.
It's a song. It's nice.
Okay. My shout out this week is Dead Water Fell. It's on, I think it's ITV. New drama, David Tennant's in it, and he was on I think Jonathan Ross show talking about it, or Graham Norton show, one of the two, and I remembered him talking about it on there, and then it started and I just caught up because I was late to the party, and you can just watch them one after the other. It's the best thing, and it is dark but very gripping. Like I was saying, I'm pissed off I started it because now I have to carry on, and it's depressing me. But I can't.
And now you're shouting it out to depress everybody else.
No, but it is good.
She's trying to depress you.
It is good, trust me. And what's also very progressive, something that my client pointed out to me, it is one of the main women in it is going through IVF. And you don't often see that on TV because they don't want to...
On the show?
Yeah, on the show. They don't want to like perpetuate like anything progressive or making...
I've seen IVF about in a few things.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Well, maybe for an institute like ITV or BBC. Like they're all about like...
Yeah, on them.
You know.
On there.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen many, but there we go.
But do you usually watch them? You don't watch TV?
No, I don't. Yeah, but even so, it's something... I just think it's still quite progressive. Maybe just for like, maybe not just for the IVF stuff. There's a few other progressive things in it.
That's like, I get amazed when I see adverts and I'm like, mixed race family.
Yeah, literally. Or the mixed race isn't just black and white mix. Yeah. It's actually like a bit, you're like, oh, hang on, what's going on?
Literally.
Right, thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Like
Thank
and
you
subscribe,
so
everything.
much.
And we hope you enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.